I'm now joined by offensive coordinator for the Helsinki Roosters, Coach Daniel Stanzel. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks for asking. So, thank you. First of all, thank you for coming on to the show. We've got some questions for you today.
Of
So
course.
I'm just going to fire away straight away and get into it. So, what aspects of the Roosters offense made it possible for your quarterback, Bryce Stancombe, to be so efficient against the UNC defense?
I think to answer that question, we have to talk about Bryce himself. I've been around a few teams now in Europe, and I haven't seen an arm talent like him or like his. We actually played basketball as well, and that guy doesn't miss from the 3-point line.
Oh,
So he's a great quarterback, obviously talent-wise, but especially when you watch film, you can see the nuances of the game and his reads and the stuff he does really well. So here I just have to say he made it work, and the film really exposes that too, the stuff that he does so well. I think that was the key to get into a rhythm, and I can only just recommend anyone who kind of is into quarterbacking to watch our games. I truly believe he's one of the best right now in Europe.
I'm glad he's doing well because that first game against Swedish Hall that you played pre-season, we didn't really get to see much of it because there was a few offensive line issues and stuff, but you seem to have worked that out now, and he's absolutely balling back there. He's got time to throw, he's making right reads, he's being very efficient, he's being very, very safe, but also throwing a lot of touchdowns as well. So it's exactly what you want from your starting quarterback.
For sure, and I think that also shows the kind of leadership that he brings to the table. It's his first contract in Europe, and he comes to Finland, and he comes in January to Finland, and works with me and with this really young offense, and then suddenly your first game is against Schwäbisch Hall. So kudos to him for buying in, for building this culture and developing the young talent we have. And the growth that we as an offense have taken is because of Bryce and the stuff he does.
Great. I'm glad he's a good fit for you. Looking back at the UNC defense that you played, what were you able to exploit in that defense to help you get an early lead in the game?
You probably saw on our sideline we were very low in numbers. We were missing about 20 players, and our leading rusher, Aatu Mikkonen, he was out with an injury, and our left guard and college prospect, Alex Inari, he was out. So we had to move some pieces around. Our tight ends, Gustav Wallstein, started as our left tackle, and Daifi and Gazinen shared running back reps. So the start was really about get our footing, see that we get the confidence early, and call plays that work for us, because especially with this young team, they don't really know how good they really are, and as soon as it clicked, then it took off. And I made sure to feed those running backs, and I think on the first play of the game I pulled our 90 kilo left tackle. So that was really what the start was about, is what works for us and how can we get this thing going even with very low numbers.
A nice game for you to be able to do that as well, obviously dominant in the victory. So what was the deciding factor when you took out your starters and you got your backups in to let them have some playing time? Like what point of the game did you think, right, this is now time?
To be fair, some of our second stringers were actually already on the field with the first drive, and when Vekomäki went down for a little bit and had to be taken out to be evaluated, Söderholm stepped in, and he's also the guy that later replaced Emerick Nicole when he went down. So, and Gajander, he's the former sprinter that scored 2 touchdowns. He's also in some of the packages. So the only main change we made was Bryce. That was about the third quarter. And, we pulled Bryce because we have this Finnish quarterback, Henri Väänänen, who has just gotten back. And we also wanted to evaluate him. It might have been a bit early, but the Roosters have always had this tradition of developing their players. I live by that as well.
And as you said, you had a few injuries already going into the game, so you had 2s and 3s repping in already. losing someone like Ahtu was a kind of a loss for that game, but it got those other guys some valuable game time. And as you say, it's all about development and working towards next man up mentality, and next year, you don't know who you're going to have, or you don't know who you're going to have next game, for instance, or later on in the season. It only takes one injury, I guess.
Or with our young team, just one high school graduation party, or like a vacation with the parents.
Yeah, something like that. So after 2 consecutive 40-plus offensive games now, how do you feel about the offense's development so far this season?
I feel good. I think I feel good about the offense, but especially for the team too. I think we have been growing since the Schwäbisch Hall game, and we constantly doing so. Yes, our average age is 21. Yes, our right tackle from Estonia, Christopher, he has played 2 games before he came to join us, and he's 18 years old. And yes, like I said, a lot of kids are finishing high school right now, but we are constantly improving, and we constantly grow and learn, and that's, I think, that's what makes me happy. So 2 guys that haven't really been talked about much are our 2 wideouts, right? There's Darmo Pitkänen and Bernari Raino, and Darmo has made 2 huge catches right before we scored for the first time in the last UNC game, and him stepping up kind of gave us the confidence to score right after that. And Bernari, I think he has now 5 catches on the season. 3 of them are touchdowns. So I gotta start calling him RV, kind of red zone Bernari or something. But that kind of shows you that those guys stepped up, and that's kind of the progress those guys are making, and we making as an offense, also as a team, is what we really need, right? That's what kind of makes me happy, and that's how I kind of feel good about this whole team, is that it's constantly improvement. And just that was our first away game. It was raining, UNC had some bodies, all right, and to even to overcome that, or like a slow start, that kind of makes me feel like we're on the right path.
Yeah, it's a great achievement, no doubt. I mean, what you're doing with the offense this season is great, and you seem to have the pieces together, and like you say, a real young, developing team. But with someone like Bryce, who's very experienced, 7 years at college, to have a guy like that be in the team and help these young guys through, he seems to be doing wonders for them, which is great. And I guess it's only going to get better as the season goes on.
I guess that's it's a good question for you as well, because you've been around here now. Is would you take mobile quarterback over pocket passer?
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, I guess with a mobile QB, you've always got that X factor, because you get them outside and they can just make things happen. A guy I play with in my team in the UK, he's an American guy, and he's got that X factor. He just makes things happen, and he just pulls something off crazy, and he can still throw like a 60-70 yard bomb as well. So I guess for me, I probably would go the mobile QB. If I'm thinking of an offensive coordinator, if I'm thinking with my wide receiver head, I want the ball. So probably like a pocket passer rather than a running QB, but bigger picture, yeah, I would say a mobile guy. But it's not all about running down the field. You look at guys like Tom Brady, who moves around in the pocket. You don't have to be mobile out downfield. It could just be those slight little movements in the pocket and stuff that works well for you. So it's not all about mobility.
For sure. And I think, but the biggest issue I see, especially when it comes to scouting, and I talk to other coaches all around Europe, is that mobile quarterback and their highlights, they just they stick out to people, right? And a guy like Bryce, he's athletic, he can run. He's scored, I think, 3 touchdowns already on his feet, so but he won't have it on his highlight tape, because he also has a lot of amazing throws there, right? So there's a lot of guys.
I bet you he's going to have that touchdown catch on his highlight reel come after this season, that Philly special. That's going to be on there, I know.
Well, I'm glad it worked out,
Yeah, no, it was a good one. Was that pre-called before? Obviously, we're going back a couple of games now, but was that pre-called before the game? Oh, we're going to run it today? Or was it just come on, let's run this now, we've been practicing it, let's give it a go?
No, I think we planned for certain situations where we might have to pull that out. Yes, and we had to show it because we wanted to score there.
Yep.
So I guess,
Yeah, nice. We've gone off a bit of a tangent there, so let's get back to the final question now.
All right, for sure.
So going into your bye week, what things are you guys going to focus on to continue developing your offense, your offensive success when you play the Crocodiles on June the 12th? June the 10th.
This is the first long distance away game for a lot of guys, right? And I think that's the biggest challenge for us as coaches, to kind of prepare them the best way possible, right? You have late night shifts, you have those late practices, and then the early bus that leaves. And I mean, it's always the same routine, you know that you get up before the kiosk opens, and you stop for some meatballs and mashed potatoes abetse, and then you go to Seinäjoki, which arguably might be one of the toughest teams, the most physical teams to play against. So to prepare them for that whole process, I think that's going to be the biggest key. And like I said, we have 17-year-olds on our team, so making sure that they're on time, that they don't drink Jaffa and eat potato chips the whole bus. I hope you're listening, Shaggy. That's all for you, by the way. So that's going to be one huge area of concern. Of course, we have to prepare for the Crocs themselves. Their running game is just spectacular. I've been around long enough to know how great Powell is, and as an offense, we have to expect to get physical. So this week is really about what we as coaches can do right to put them in a situation to have success.
Yeah, I guess there's no real way to replicate an away day game. You just gotta go with it and hope, like you say, they turn up on time. Maybe tell them half an hour early the buses leaving before it goes. Get them to turn up early.
The distances in Finland are something different.
Oh, they're crazy, man. Crazy. Anyway, any last words from yourself?
Thanks for having me. If anything comes up ever, please don't hesitate to ask. I always love to talk football and X's and O's. And best of luck to you and your show as well.
Lovely. Coach, just a thanks from me and all of us at AFF for coming on the show, taking the time to talk to me today. I've had fun. It's been great. And we've had a nice little football chat, which is brilliant. So good luck for the rest of the season. I'm sure we'll get you on at some point again, and have a nice week off.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.